and welcome to Business Line. This week we focus on the labour market. Recently there have been more signs the global economy is on the recovery track. But does it mean the world's labour market is no longer in crisis? According to a new report from the International Labour Organization, job seekers haven't found this solution. They've just adjusted to the new reality. What seems to be a flexibility could be just a desperate decision to earn at least some money today, rather than looking for a stable job tomorrow.
Precarious work and temporary contracts are increasingly becoming commonplace around the world, according to a new report. The International Labour Organization says a global shift towards more insecure jobs is fueling inequality and pushing poverty rates through the roof. It's all leading to worldwide insecurity, according to the ILO's Director General.
We do need, and policymakers do need, and they are doing this, to turn to the circumstances faced by part-time workers, to contract workers, to temporary workers, and to legislate to improve their conditions in line with this notion of equal treatment.
The ILO estimates only a quarter of the world's workforce are on permanent contracts. The remaining three-quarters are working informally, perhaps doing unpaid family work or self-employed. The ILO believes it's an emerging trend which needs further exploration to help provide people with more protection.
Maybe the future and the issues of social justice for which the ILO stands will not be or cannot be realised through the generalisation of that standard employment form. That 9-to-5 permanent contract that maybe our fathers or grandfathers felt was almost an inheritance. We're actually asking rather fundamental questions about that. And I don't think that's a clinging to past orthodoxies. I think it's an opening of some doors. I really do.
While changing work patterns gives some more flexibility, often the ILO says it's because there's a lack of choice. The report cites Chile, China and Brazil as countries moving towards giving self-employed greater social protection without it affecting growth.
As we've seen, having a job does not mean feeling safe, nor does it mean being fairly paid. And it doesn't always depend on your professional skills. Sometimes it's all about what you can't change, the gender. The International Labour Organization says average wages for women are between 4 to 36% less than men's, generally speaking. Let's take a closer look at Europe. In the European Union, women's gross hourly earnings were on average 16.4% below those of men in 2013. On closer inspection, the problem looks more serious. The gap varies significantly, ranging from just over 3% on Slovenia to almost 30% on Estonia. In Europe, as elsewhere in the world, there are explained and unexplained reasons behind this gap. For example, an individual's level of education and experience are in the explained part, and they could also be overcome. The unexplained suggests discrimination. The gender pay gap is generally much lower for new labour market entrants and tends to widen with age, for example, as a consequence of breaks in career or part-time work due to childbearing. Motherhood is considered to be one of the underlying reasons for the overall gender pay gap. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development estimates that on average across the OECD, a 50% reduction in the gender gap in labour force participation would lead to an additional gain in GDP of about 6% by 2030, with further gains in case of a complete convergence. Have you heard of POTUS? Does not ring any bells? That's not a new pop star, even though he has millions of followers on Twitter. This is it. This is IT.
No hashtag this week. What you see here is the brand new Twitter address of the President of the United States. In a word, @POTUS. That's right, Barack Obama just landed on a social network with an official account. As he pointed out in its first tweet, it only took him 6 years to get it, but it only took him 24 minutes to break the 100,000 follower ceiling. I know what you're thinking. Wasn't he already tweeting through other accounts? Well, yes, but those were managed by his staff. This, on the other hand, is the personal account of the US president, and every tweet comes directly from his fingers. Not from his phone, though. For security reasons, Obama still uses a BlackBerry, and it's unclear whether his locked device has Twitter. For his first tweets, the US president used an iPhone which belongs to the Oval Office. Makes sense, though. Obama will not be @POTUS forever. The username will be transferred to his successor, whoever he or she may be. This was confirmed by an exchange of tweets between Obama and one of the 65 lucky accounts the president is following, Bill Clinton's. Obama warned the former president if his wife Hillary wins in 2016, he's going to get the First Lady account. That was it. That was IT.
Gucci and Yves Saint Laurent have accused Alibaba again of selling counterfeit goods. It's the second time in a year the French group has taken the Chinese e-commerce giant to task. Alibaba denies all the accusations and says it spent millions of euros on hiring 2,000 employees dedicated to anti-counterfeiting and consumer protection work to prevent the problem.
France's luxury goods maker Kering SA is taking China's internet mega bazaar Alibaba to court in New York, alleging the online store is chock-a-block with fake Gucci or Yves Saint Laurent knockoffs. The suit claims Alibaba knowingly encourages, assists and profits from the sale of counterfeits, despite the world's biggest web retailer promising it would crack down on black market goods. Alibaba denies the accusations and said unfortunately Kering Group's chosen the path of wasteful litigation instead of the path of constructive cooperation. It added it employed 2,000 people and spent 140 million euros last year fighting fakes.
That was it for now. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.